Hello, hello, and welcome to Lessons in Miracles. We're going to talk about one of the lessons from Course in Miracles, and then we're going to do some chanting afterward. I'm Terry Angel, sitting with my co host, Karen Palmer. We're so happy to be here with all of you. And we have with us Christine, Elizabeth, and Sunny.
Yep, Sonny's sleeping.
Our
Oh,
Auntie
good.
Jean.
Hello,
Glad you're
everyone.
able,
I'm so glad everybody's back.
so glad you're able to connect tonight, Jean. We hear you've
Yeah.
had some technical problems today.
I
And
stayed
we have
real calm. Real
Yeah, we
calm.
have Charlie Charman.
Hello, everyone.
All right, let's get to it. We've got lots to discuss tonight. So, Karen is going to take us into our hearts so that we can be in the right mind space and heart space to do this discussion.
Okay. So let's just take a moment to rest and trust and listen. And as we listen, we are reminded that Christ forgets no one. No one. And when we are in this beautiful, beautiful knowing of the absolute, perfect love is the reflection that we see everywhere. It's so magical to live in the real world and to have compassion and no judgment for anyone who still believes they live in the land of make believe. We are learning how to be happy learners, how to follow the guide, the one voice, the one love, the one light, and hear that so clearly in our own heart so that we never question what voice to listen to. And we never question how Christ is working in and through us. And we trust that we are the living Christ. We are love's presence. We are God's messengers. We are the love that the world is seeking. And when we let that be easy and gentle, and we embrace everyone, for no one is left out, all is love, all is light, all is one. And we let that energy of the absolute oneness, perfect love, perfect communication, and perfect health just shower the entire world, and that all creation remember no one fails. And we are to remember for those who maybe aren't remembering for themselves that your home is complete and perfect, just as it was established. The home of harmony has never left you. You may have felt in your imagination, in your vain imaginings, at times, you may have felt that you are on your way home, that you're trying to get back home. But all of that is an imagining. And when we let those imaginings go, and we let go of all the illusions, we realize we've always been in the heart of harmony. We've always been home. And God has not forgotten anyone. But we will remember until we open to receive the messages and not defend against them and not be distracted or use others as an illusion, because there are no others. And when we think that there is something outside, we have believed an illusion. For who denies their brother denies themselves, and thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which this self is clearly recognized, this home is remembered, and freedom for all creation is experienced. So let yourself feel that. Remember that fun, playful feeling of when we were called home and the front porch light was flashing and we heard our name, and feel that calling into the heart of harmony, the heart of surrender. And when you open your eyes, just realize everyone you see is you. Expressing as love and loveliness. Reflections. We saw it, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, we saw it. We've seen it everywhere. Together, it's absolutely been just absolute magic. We went to the ostrich farm today, and we saw ostriches and baby ostriches and little emus, and we got cute pictures. So she'll post all them.
Can't wait to share them.
Yeah. So, but everywhere we went, like everywhere we went, we were seeing the reflections of the love. And the images, when we are those image makers, they say we're image makers. When we stop being image makers and just let people shine, all you see is the light. I last night was really seeing it again and again. When we were at the ostrich farm, again and again, it's just this beautiful light glowing and just.
Yeah, and seeing little children,
Yeah.
with their innocence and just awe and wonder. And that's what we're told is become like that little child. Just see everything like it's the first time you're seeing it ever, and go into that awe and wonder of it.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference if you can just open up and allow. I love that. I love seeing the children today and the young people with the ostriches. It was really cool.
And so we are exploring today the lesson, my mind holds only what I think with God. And if I defend myself, I am attacked. And sickness is a defense against the truth. And she has some beautiful insights to share.
Gosh. These insights are so deep today. And it really, you have to approach it with an open mind. I'll just say that, because I'm reading it and I'm going, whoa, this is going to take some wrapping around our brains here, our human brains. So here we go, you guys. Hold on to your seatbelts. My right mind, my real mind, holds only what I think with God. The split mind the ego mind, from which I see images of separate bodies and separate things, is not my real mind, even though I might identify with it. It is a false mind, a mind that makes up images of nothing, even though I might experience it as very real. In this false mind, I feel I must defend myself against attack by something outside of me. This is what happens. This false mind gives me images of attack and being attacked. For example, the pollen from the trees makes my eyes itch. There's constant change and deterioration by the weather. Everything is threatened by outer influences, which eventually destroy it. In this world, if we do not defend against germs, they would destroy us. We would become sick and die. All this comes from the false ego mind. All this comes from a thought system that is denying the truth of our invulnerability as part of the mind of God. All of this denies the truth of our identity. We experience this false world because we wanted specialness. We wanted individuality. We wanted to experience separation from our source. Thank goodness none of this could ever be true. The images and experiences that come from the false ego mind could never be true. We imagine that we become sick and die, but when we wake up, we see none of it was ever real. It was all just hallucinations of vulnerability, lack, and death. In this ego mind, we try to atone for our sins by punishing our bodies and perceiving ourselves as weak and vulnerable by forces we cannot control. All this is simply not true. All this just comes from the false ego mind, which we have identified with. Thank God we still have our real mind. We cannot leave the mind of God, though we imagine ourselves doing so. Our right mind holds only what we think with God. I told you it was going to be deep.
That's so true.
But so true. I know.
And actually so simple.
Yeah.
It's not really that deep when you just let it be simple.
Yeah.
It really makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
But we live in this world where everybody's seeing the attack. Everybody's seeing specialness. And I want to be special and I want to be unique. And I am not like you, but
American
I am you.
Idol. I gotta be
you.
I gotta be the American Idol. I gotta be the voice.
Right.
I gotta be the top dog.
Have to be number one.
Yeah.
We are all number one.
And the funny part, that's the funny part, is that, when you let go of that individuality, you realize it's all duality. When we want to be individuals and we want to shine and we want to share and we want to radiate our specialness, it's really the illusion of the false mind who wants to do that. Because we're all perfect, whole, and complete, but the false mind who thinks that it's not perfect, whole, and complete, the false mind that believes that the lack of love is real, just as real as love is that false mind is like running the show. It's driving this vehicle.
Yeah.
So we have to really start to pay it no mind.
Right.
give it no attention, because it's a false mind. I've gotten to the point where I don't even listen to it anymore. I don't try to appease it. I don't try to resist it. I just completely pay it no mind. And I say, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to try and explain. I'm just going to say thank you.
Say thank you.
And that's that was the simple. That's the simplest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so here we go.
So how's everybody else feeling about that?
Well, I really appreciated about being on the defense. About realizing exactly what you're defending. You're defending this body that really is not you. And it. I think it says that we're defending this body that's actually crumbling as we sit here. It's instead of protecting who we really are, which is our true self in our mind. And I had never thought of it that way. How we even think, okay, we have to plan, we have to have a defense for this, and we have to have a defense for that, and we have to worry about that. No, we don't. The key word is trust here.
Mhm.
It's that
Those are the ego's laws.
exactly. That
And
once
if we follow those ego laws and we follow the ideas and we identify as this physical form, this is who I am, this is, these are my ailments, these are my problems. If we identify with that, then yeah, we're going to want to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
But when we know that we are perfect, whole, and complete, and fully spirit, there's nothing to fear. And we realize that fear's just an illusion, just like all the other illusions.
the one I have a little more trouble with is the sickness one. Is grasping hold of that idea that that maybe we bring that on ourselves as a sickness. I can see where in some cases definitely we do. We could. But in some cases, I think of all the people I love who've been sick, and and that's hard for me. That's a little hard for me. So I'm
Well,
just trusting and praying about it and hoping that I'll get more understanding on it.
yeah, but it seems like you're still seeing it as separate, Jean. Because when we buy into the illusion that we are a separate body, that we're separate from the mind of God, then we see sickness, we see death, we see illness and trauma instead of going back into our hearts. It's like let me see the perfection.
See the light beyond the appearance.
Yeah.
To see, and you can just ask spirit to show me the light beyond this appearance. And sickness, what they're explaining to us is that sickness is our distraction from listening to the true self, from being the true self. Our true self is perfect health. Our true self doesn't have to have the experience of sickness, and it doesn't have to. It's not inevitable. Like death is not inevitable. We have made this a law that's not true. And it's just the physical body dies, but the soul is forever and ever. And it's
This
not
is just the vehicle we're using right
it's just the vehicle we're using.
Yeah.
And it's not about being punished for anything. Sickness is not a punishment or something that we do to ourselves. It's a way that we use to distract ourselves from hearing the voice of God and hearing the voice of joy. And we isolate ourselves, and then we believe that we're all alone in this. And then instead of remembering that we're all one. And so it's a way to isolate.
Yeah. I want to read that sentence again because it just makes so much sense. We imagine that we become sick and die. But when we wake up, we see none of it was ever real. So seeing all of it as the illusion that it is where we can open up and say, aha, I get it. I understand this is all just the dream. It's just a dream. And it feels so real. But have you ever had a dream that felt really real? And then you open your eyes and you're like, what was that? Because, you just know you went through that experience. And that's what's happening. We're in that dream. We're in that hallucination that all of this is real. It's kind of hard to wrap your brain around until you just go into the trust.
Children's version to see if I can get a little more clarity.
Yeah, I love that. Like Little Lamb is a perfect example of what we are. We are Little Lamb in the adult form, and Little Lamb, like you said, is helping all the creation to see that all they have to do is listen to the love in their heart, and then they don't have to be asleep anymore.
Right.
Can we just study Little Lamb?
I think we're doing great. We're almost on 150. This is the review. Like we're moving right along. What does Charlie want to say?
Charlie's been trying to say something.
I want to say in Pam's one, the need to know number 2 is sick no more. So, and then the last part of it, it's the lesson. Most of us are smart enough not to rewatch our least favorite movies when they debuted on Netflix. So why do we insist on running repeats of the last favorite events in our life?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about that, Charlie? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, just stay at it, stay away. Just like the 3 phrases that, what are 3 phrases still doing in your head? Something needs to be fixed. This is not good enough, and I don't have enough. Yeah, they shouldn't be there. Yeah.
That's all the ego's dream.
Right, yeah. The
hallucination.
Right.
It's all the ego's dream.
Right.
It's all, I call it Looney Tunes. It's we're watching the Looney Tunes. In the land of make-believe, we're watching the movie of Looney Tunes, and we're watching it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Christine, did you?
I know. I used to love a Nickelodeon, and that is my generation. And I have a feeling Nickelodeon. So see, growing up, I'm the 90 way baby. See?
Right, but when you're watching Nickelodeon, you're just watching a movie, right?
Yep.
So you're just watching a TV show. And we just watch Friends, and we've been watching Friends, and we've been laughing, and we've been having so much joy watching it and thinking, this is just a story of their lives, but we can identify with those stories, and then we can cling to them, and then we can start to attach ourselves to them. And when we attach ourselves to fear, that's false everything appearing real. And when we identify with fear, we're identifying with nothing. But when we identify with love, we're identifying with everything. So when we think about fear, we're going to think about lack and scarcity and sickness and death and all the stuff that goes along with fear. But when we know that only love is real, then we won't have that question anymore in our mind. We won't have that question, and we don't have that question. It's not there for me anymore. I don't feel it's there anymore. I'm not interested in the false mind, though. I don't want to analyze it anymore. I'm done with it. It was never real, so I'm not interested in it anymore. But if you're still interested in exploring it, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
it's
I don't know if
there's no
you're talking
judgment.
Charlie, but
Everybody is, you know, exploring what they want to explore.
it's just that, you know, like, okay, let me use me as an example. Is I have really bad arthritis. Okay, now many people in my condition would be very, very sick, very handicapped. A lot of them are in wheelchairs. Um, my massage therapist used to say, my mother in law has arthritis just like yours. She spends all day in bed crying. You know, that's what she does. I don't feel that way. I wake up and it reminds me that it's there, and I say my prayers and I go on, and then I really don't think about it the rest of the day. It's gone, you know, for the rest of the day.
Mhm.
But
That's the movie they're playing. That's the story they're saying. That's the movie they're playing. That's the story they're saying. You have a different story you're telling yourself. You have
well,
a
I
different
can't
story.
say that
Listen
I
to
don't
yourself.
have it because
Yeah, listen to what you're saying, because you're saying to you're telling a new story about yourself. You're putting yourself limited, and you're saying that this is my story. This is who I am. That's the story you're telling. And this is my story. I'm sticking to it.
I don't. I don't understand what you're saying. Then
I'm saying that you're the people that you were just talking about. That's their story. That,
okay.
but you have a story that you're telling yourself too.
Well, I guess so, you know, but I mean, like, I can't deny that I have it, but I don't let it interfere with what I do or how I feel or the happiness that I have
Right.
or the joy that I
Yeah.
have. And, you know, but if someone said, well, what are your ailments? I would have to say, well, I have arthritis because you know, and I feel like I, if I said no, I don't have any, I'm perfect, I would be lying. I don't know. I'm not explaining myself well, you
It's
know.
okay, Jean. You
Don't
know,
explain.
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about explaining. You don't have to
Yeah.
explain to us
You don't have to
anything.
explain anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I used to claim a lot of things as well. And then I learned how powerful words are. So I don't claim any of it. It's not that I'm telling a lie. I just don't buy into it. So I don't say my anything. You know, if I tell something about a medical condition or a physical condition, I'll describe it as that, but I don't own it. I don't claim it to be mine because I'm just not buying into the illusion anymore.
So you think okay. What I'm trying to get at is, am I wrong if I say I have arthritis?
You're not wrong.
You're
but
identifying
You're
with
identifying that
you're
as you.
identifying it as
Yeah.
as you, as who you are. But
It's your story.
and when you identify, like, that's what the Course in Miracles is all about, is trying to help us to not identify as this body, name, form,
Labels.
experience. All these things come and go, but there's a part that you know that's your true self, that is not coming and going, that doesn't have arthritis, that doesn't
Definitely.
that is beyond the body's eyes. Remember, the body's eyes are the ego. And
Yeah.
if we are seeing through the body's eyes, we're seeing separation, we're seeing sickness, we're seeing specialness, we're seeing sacrifice, we're seeing suffering. But if we're seeing through the eyes of love, we're seeing things differently. Remember, just keep asking to see things differently. Just keep asking Spirit to help you see things differently. That's all. That's all and give it to
Mhm.
spirit. Just give all your ailments to spirit and say, I don't know what this is all about, but I'm happy to have it go.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it or anything, and I like to believe that I am my true self and that I do know that I'm the child of God and that
Mhm.
I so but I keep feeling like I'm doing something wrong because otherwise I'd be cured of my arthritis it's just not happening.
And
In a,
that's the ego's dream.
in a way it's happening because it doesn't affect me in any way, but I don't know, honey. I'm confused. You're right. I just have to. I've been trying to meditate every day and try to get things straight in my head
Yeah.
because
Well, don't even try. Just allow.
Just let it go.
Yeah. Just allow.
Just
And
let it go.
because when we try to force something, that's when we get to that confused state and
well,
say,
what
I don't know how to
happens?
do this. But you do know how to do this because your subconscious and your soul knows how to do this.
I don't know. I just get into when I do this. When I do go on in my meditations, I just do what Charlie says, and I get into that space where I just want to stay there.
Absolutely. And you
Right.
can.
And just remember that that's all that's being asked of us to do is to let it go and give it to spirit so that spirit can take care of it, repurpose it, redirect us and give us guidance. That's all we're being asked to do is to just let it go. Don't hold on to it. It's like holding on to a cactus and saying, ow.
It's a great one. I love that.
Squeezing that
Yeah.
cactus and saying, ow, ow, why is this cactus hurting me?
Yeah.
Well, stop squeezing and your fingers won't hurt anymore. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I don't need it to make sense. I'm just saying for yourself, if you would like to have more freedom, ask spirit to take over
and put down the cactus
and say, spirit, take over. Can
It's
you
hard
take
in
this?
this part of the country. We got cactuses everywhere.
Something
I
needs
know
to
you
be
do.
fixed. That's one of the sayings you gotta stop saying. Something needs to be fixed.
Nothing needs to be fixed.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
arthritis, it's not there.
Yeah, it's the illusion. It's part of the illusion.
Yeah,
Your heart problems are not there.
they're
That's
not.
right. It's all part of the illusion.
Exactly.
And
So
it's all there to distract us from having direct communication with spirit. It doesn't. That's what it's saying is sickness is a defense against the truth. So
that's
when
right.
we do have any kind of issue that is showing up, it is a distraction from direct communication with spirit because we're choosing to see the body as more real than spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
gotta be.
we're choosing to solve our own problems instead of trying to hand them over and say, I don't know how to fix this.
Right.
I don't know what to do with this, but here, help me.
Yeah. Just step back and become the observer.
Yeah, help me and guide me to my next step.
Go back to being a baby.
That's right. Awe and wonder.
Choose to be your innocent original self.
Yeah.
And
I thought I was. I'll have to meditate about it because I'm
Yeah.
still slightly
well,
confused.
yeah, I mean the false mind comes and goes, but the true self
Wow.
doesn't ever leave you.
No, it doesn't.
But the false mind comes in and clouds over everything and brings in clouds and brings in all kinds of stuff for you to be distracted and deluded by, and it wants to get your attention. And when it gets your attention, then and you think, I'm this body, I am this body, I am this situation, my situation is real, I'm not going to continue to believe that only love is real. I'm only going to think that this is real for me. Just as real as love for me is fear. And if you have that, you're just going at a complete wash. You're just washing, it's like you won't have any changes. There'll be no miracles. You're just going to stay as in the same frequency. But when you realize that you're not that body, you're not your thoughts, you're not your images that you believe you are, you're not the false self-image that you believe yourself to be, then you're going to start to see spirit take over.
Yeah. And remember, spirit doesn't have a bad day.
Yeah.
So if you wake up and you're saying, oh my gosh, I'm having such a bad day, I've got a headache, I've got this ache, who's doing that? It's not spirit, because spirit doesn't have bad days. Spirit's made of pure love. So go back in and be the observer and say, okay, let me go back into the mind of God instead of the mind of ego, and then see what kind of day I'm going to have.
We have to start to move on. It's 8:45.
No, we don't have to, Charlie.
We don't have to do anything that we don't want to do.
Yeah.
You can leave anytime you want.
Go ahead and start chanting. Anyway, thanks a lot for talking.
No, Auntie Jean has more that she wants to talk about. She's discussing. We're not going to cut her.
I was just going to say that,
we're not going to cut her off.
I can't be of two minds. I feel like you have to be of God's mind. You can't be of two minds.
Exactly.
It's like the lesson that says you can't be in two worlds. It's impossible to be in two worlds. And that's what we're trying to do when we're not being the ruler of our own mind. We rule our own mind. Absolutely. And when we're not ruling the mind, and when we're, letting the mind rule us, then we're not the master of our experience anymore.
Exactly. The body and the ego become the master.
And then everything's confusing.
I'm very sure that God will let me know, because he always does. So I'll just, because usually when I get confused, it gives me something that straightens me out. So
that's right. Always. Always. So I just encourage you, Jean, be the observer.
Okay.
And be the observer too of words that are coming out of your mouth, and say, oh, who said that? Who said that I have whatever this is, or that I'm having a bad day? Who is it that's talking right now?
And be gentle with yourself. Like, be gentle with those words, and realize that your word is your wand. So you have a magic wand. It's your word. And the words that come out of your mouth become your experience. Mm-hmm. And if you would like to have the experience of perfect health, then you have to identify with perfect health. And you have to invite that in, that experience. I'd love to have perfect health. I would love to feel perfect health, and hold that real, hold that vision real. I'm going to use myself as an example. I haven't had any issues for years now. And I had many, many, many issues. And I haven't had any for years, because I'm completely focused on perfect health and radiating that for everyone on the planet, and sharing that as a condition that is my truth now. I am perfect health. To me, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, we can chant now, because Charlie.
No, we can't chant now.
No, we can't chant now.
We have our next lesson that is coming up.
That's right.
Yeah, which is another really good one as well.
This is a beautiful one. It leads into a lot of what we just discussed. Okay, so my mind holds only what I think with God. Mm-hmm. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Mm-hmm. And heaven is the decision I must make. So I want to just, one quick thing I want to say about that, because that is when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. Okay. So it says here, this is one of the things that healing is freedom, for it demonstrates that dreams will not prevail against the truth. Healing is shared, and by this attribute, it proves that laws, unlike the ones which hold that sickness is inevitable, are more potent than their sickly opposites. Healing is strength, for by its gentle hand is weakness overcome, and minds that were walled off within a body, free to join with other minds to be forever strong. And then those who are healed become instruments of healing, nor does time elapse between the instant they are healed and all the grace of healing it is given them to give. What is opposed to God does not exist, and who accepts it not within his mind becomes a haven where the weary can remain to rest. For here is
You
truth
are a bad
bestowed,
parent.
and here are all illusions brought to truth. That makes a little bit of sense.
Yes, it does. It does.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Okay. This has been a wonderful discussion tonight. I knew it was going to be good.
Thank you, Auntie Jean. Thank you for
Yes.
opening this discussion. It really is a beautiful one for us to all explore. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with exploring and being curious about things. We just have to stop making ourselves wrong for being curious and exploring.
That's right.
That's it. When you're on the search for truth, you're going to be asking questions. You're going to be looking into things
Yeah.
because, and truth is something that I think I've searched for all my life. From the time I was, like I said the other day, that I never believed all that stuff they were saying about God because I knew it wasn't true. He wasn't telling me he was mean. He wasn't telling me he was vengeful. He was telling me I'm love.
And you were listening to the direct communication, and you weren't being distracted and using others as an illusion. You knew the truth and you didn't get distracted. That's all that it's saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Go down to the chants.
We're going to, I can't find my page. Okay. I found my page.
Okay, well, we're going into our chanting part, and thank you to all who are coming in to chant with us for change. The first chant that we do is Om Gangana Pataye Namaha. So Karen, please talk about that.
All right, this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we'll chant 108 times all together as our beautiful family. And then beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number. And then beautiful Terry Angel will take us into a short meditation on freedom, and then we'll go into our second chant. So we declare that all obstacles be removed. Om Gam Gana Pataye Namaha. We declare that all illusions and illness be removed. Om Gam Gana Pataye Namaha. We declare that all barriers, conflicts, and violence be removed. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om 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 Ganapataye Ganapataye Namaha. Om 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Ganapataye Namaha. Om 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 Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Ganapataye Namaha.
Let's breathe deep into our hearts. Let's find that connection where we know that there is no separation. We know that none of this that we are seeing, experiencing in this world is real, because only love is real. Only when we connect in with the mind of God are we in reality. So all of those things we perceive as obstacles, all those things that we see as a barrier between us and God, they don't really exist. And when we can reach that point and really feel the oneness, the miracles just keep showing up, one right after another, because we're playing in that realm of possibility. We're playing in the realm of reality. Let's stay there for this next chant. Our next chant, it's so beautiful. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And I feel Tina Turner really with us tonight. I just really feel her. And I feel that as we chant this, we're going to be more in our hearts with this particular one. So, Karen, please talk about that.
Yeah, so this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we'll chant 108 times all together. And beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number. And then beautiful Terry Angel will lead us into the next part of our session. So we declare that all are accepting, aligning, allowing, and awake. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We declare that all are happy and healthy. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We declare that all live in peace and harmony and are open and ready to receive miracles. Nam Myoho Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho
Renge Kyo,
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge
Renge Kyo,
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo,
Renge Kyo,
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge
Renge
Kyo,
Kyo,
Renge Kyo, Nam
Namyo Renge Kyo,
Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho
Namyo
Renge Kyo,
Renge Kyo,
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam
Namyo
Myoho Renge
Renge
Kyo,
Kyo,
Nam
Namyo
Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho
Renge Kyo,
Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho
Namyo Renge Kyo,
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho
Namyo Renge Kyo, Namyo
Nam-myoho Renge
Renge Kyo.
Kyo.
Let's take that holy breath back into our heart, connecting in with who we truly are, connecting in with the divine, and with our beautiful planet, our Mama Gaia, grounding into that energy. And every night we give honor and glory to our Creator by chanting Om. We'll do it 3 times slowly, coming from your heart, and then let your heart connect to your human brain and say, I love you, pulling in all that beautiful love energy before we give it away into the world. So take a deep breath into your heart and let's begin the chanting of Om. Listen in the stillness for that small voice that whispers. And in the stillness, you can hear it so clearly as it says, I love you. You matter. Everything that you do matters. That love that you're holding in your heart, that's coming directly from God, we're going to love it and send it out on assignment. So hold it in your heart, hold it in your mind's eye. See a stream of light coming directly into your heart from our Creator. And now, with your out breath, send it out into the world. Send it out to touch wherever it needs to go. Whoever needs to hear this will hear it. Whoever needs to feel your love will feel it. That's our intention. That's our confidence we have in God and trusting that what we are bringing forth is making a difference in the world. We see peace in our world because we see peace in our heart. Om Shanti Shanti. Om peace. 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 Just imagine all the souls out there that are receiving that love from us tonight. Isn't that beautiful to imagine that and see it real? Neville Goddard says, see it real, hold it real, because it is real. And every night we make a declaration about that. We say a declaration every night about peace on earth. And oops, you passed it. We're going to put it up on the screen so anybody can follow along. And I'm going to ask Christine if she'll guide us in doing this tonight. Christine, I don't think we're hearing you. Oh, that's because you're muted, darling. There we go.
She's still muted.
The volume's real low.
No,
Yeah,
it's
turn
not.
up the
There you
volume.
are. Yay.
Yeah. We do this every night that peace on earth and be kind to everyone else, please. And to where your poor baby, where your cats, your dogs, whoever, where your pets. And 1, 2, 3.
We
We
declare
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 that
that
there
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 is
is
peace
peace
is
on
on
earth,
earth,
love.
and
and
we
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 declare
declare
that
declare
that
peace
peace
begins
begins
begin
inside of
inside of
us.
us
inside us. So this.
So
always.
forever and ever.
Never. Amen.
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 and we've been doing this for 1,103 days now.
Wow.
And we've been doing this as a group known as
And the
The
Peace for
peace for
peace.
peace.
Peace. Yes, we are the Peace for Peace.
peace.
But we're not just a group, we're a movement. And Karen is part of this movement. She's a P. Terry's a P. Chris is a P. And so is Sunny. Charlie's a P. And I'm a P. And anyone else listening, you're a P. But we have P's in Australia, in Europe, in Canada, in India, all over the world. And that's why we can declare there is peace on earth. And I just have to ask you, not singing, wouldn't you like to be a P too?
Real.
Yes. And that
Yes.
way we can bring
Yes,
peace to
yes,
the
yes.
earth. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Love you
Oh,
all
yes.
and be kind.
And be kind.
Fine.
So
Definitely
important in
be
our
kind.
world to bring in peace by being kind to each other. Let's make it a world that we want to live in, and that's a kind world. Thank you all for being here tonight. We do this every night, coming up on that 11:11 mark. So be with us every night and feel the excitement. We love you, and we leave you with
Namaste, y'all.
y'all. Bye,
Love you all.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.